And now, it's my honor to introduce our speaker for today, Reverend Joanne Boruck, and she's going to talk about the power of vision. That is a really big one in our way of thinking.
Good morning, beautiful. Oh, thank you. I never get tired of that, you know. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living, Red Deer. And I'm so honored that you're here with me as I discover and collectively we discover and develop the power of having a vision for ourselves and for the world. Please join me in quiet contemplation by going within to your heart center and by allowing any thoughts of yesterday or tomorrow or today to just float by on clouds of divine light. If you choose, you can allow your eyes to flutter closed. Relax all the muscles around your jaw. Allow your teeth and your tongue to be independent and not engaged. Totally relaxed. And maybe you feel the need to drop your head forward ever so slightly, taking pressure off your spine. Allowing that good life energy to flow through you and from you. As I affirm and know, there is only one power, one presence, one purpose that I call God. Some call Spirit, Creator, Buddha, whatever you call this master, this teaching. It is the all-knowing essence of all the energy of the universe. It is understanding, it is clarity, it is peace. And that power and glory operates through me, as me. Because I have the divine freedom to choose all those qualities and how I choose to show up in my world. I have the wisdom to bring my vision to fruition. And to watch it unfold with ease and with grace, because that is who I am. I am a co-creator with our divine Creator. With loving thanks for this Center for Spiritual Living, Red Deer, for all those who find something to raise them to a level of peace and understanding, I am grateful for the power of truth that's spoken here, and for the truth that we change our experience simply by changing what we believe. It is done unto us as we believe. And I know this truth is my truth, and I let it go into the all-knowing law, the law of thought, the law of mind, where it is returned to me, multiplied and overflowing. And together we say, and so it is. In this moment of silence and contemplation, let us send loving thoughts to all those in our life, known or unknown, who don't know how much they're loved. Thank you. Okay, I should have Kleenex up here. I really do connect with people that don't know how much they're loved. And you know why? Because I've been there. So this whole month we talked about, the theme was from good to great to grand. So I started out with God is good and there's no luck necessary. And then we moved into great. great expectations. Thank you, Edith. And what is your expectation? And we're going to move into grand, making a grand gesture. Do you know, grand is not as far away as I thought it was when I started writing my talk. And it might be not as far away as you're thinking, because grand is something to do with faith. It means you know who you are, you know what you do, you know that you're following your values, and we talk about that quite often. You have to know what you value in life in order to gauge the rest of your life. And if something doesn't measure up to your value, let it go, no judgment. And if you're not living up to your value, then raise your consciousness. So today it's my intention to guide myself and all of us here who are willing into a grand gesture of creating a vision for ourselves and our world. You know, I taught this course 6 years ago. Hard to believe it was 6 years ago, this visioning course. And it was created by the Centers for Spiritual Living, but it was written by Michael Beckwith. And I honor the wisdom that was put into making this course. And I honor my wisdom in being able to take the information and make it part of our message today. So life visioning. Michael Beckwith says, it's a transformative process for activating your unique gifts and highest potential. Wow, that's what I want. I want to activate my unique gifts and infinite potential. And so, you know, there's a couple of things I'm going to talk about today. One is the what, which you already know from doing visioning boards and affirmation. That's what. But I'm also going to talk about the how, which is something that Michael Beckwith developed, and also Ernest Holmes in his 5 steps of affirmative prayer. So we just start with what you know. So what do we know for sure? We know that there's a higher power guiding us. So let's align with that. Right now, let's align with that higher consciousness, that higher power that's guiding us, and make it part of our collective dream. As everybody here, if we all hold that high watch, we're connecting with a power greater than we are. Wow, I can feel the world slowing down and finding peace. And we have to work together because we're all architects of our own destiny. So the other thing we know, and if we haven't heard it here, we've experienced it, is that nothing happens to us, it happens through us. So there's a couple of affirmations I want to start with. And one is, I am open to allowing my vision to manifest through me. Let's say that together. I am open to allowing my vision to manifest through me. And because we're opening to this consciousness greater than you are, I have another affirmation. I am open to universal signs from all sources. I am open to universal signs from all sources that assist me in fulfilling my vision. That assist me in filling my vision. You know, spiritual growth, I think it starts with good to great to grand, but it is not about getting anything because we already have it. So it's about letting. I read somewhere that said, don't make it happen, make it welcome. So we're here to activate our unique gifts, and we do that by allowing our vision to manifest through us. And I often ask you to repeat an affirmation. Juliet had you do one when we did the Sunday school. And you know why I do that? Because I read somewhere that we have 3 lobes in our brain when we do an affirmation, or when we want to change something, when we want to have a vision. So the first lobe registers what you hear. The second lobe registers what you say, and the third lobe registers what you read and write. So now you can see where I'm going with this. What you hear isn't necessarily what you said. What you hear is that quiet voice within you, that spirit talking to you. And I mentioned that last week, that you hear God's voice in silence. So we already checked those first boxes. What you hear and what you say. And in your program, you probably noticed there's a blank affirmative prayer sheet. That is for you to take home, and that is to help you activate that third lobe, that reading and writing lobe. You know, I was searching for some inspiration because I do believe the world's not changed by information, it's changed by inspiration. And I was trying to think about something that I visioned that actually came to fruition. And of course, the biggest one is that I'm standing up here as a minister. Honest to goodness, if you knew me in my other life, I still have friends that say, "You're a minister?" So that's got to be the biggest vision, that I wanted to make a change in the world, and I didn't know how that was going to happen. It started out really doing Reiki. Then I started taking classes, and I came here, and somebody told me I was in charge of my own life, and I had the power to change it, and here I am, 20 years later, standing on the podium. But I thought about something else. I thought, a lot of things happen in our life that you haven't even visioned for. You don't even know that you visioned for it. So I want to talk about something that you might have already heard, because I tell it to a lot of people, but humor me because I'm going to repeat myself. So I was thinking about this vision that I didn't even know I had, but I spoke about. I was about in grade 5 or 6, and I was going to Vacation Bible School. And somebody, much older and wiser than me said to me, they were talking about, in the Bible it says, paradise is the land of milk and honey. And I really thought about that because, I really wanted to go to paradise, wherever it was. I didn't want to die to get there. And so this other person in my class that was probably, really wise, like 12, they said to me, if you want to go to the land of milk and honey, you got to go to Red Deer, Alberta. And, they could have told me the moon. I lived in an old mining town in northern Ontario, had no idea what she was talking about. And so, I thought about that after. I thought, the land of milk and honey is Red Deer, Alberta? And then I must have let it go. So time went forward, 10 years passed, and all these things had to happen. I had to have a teenage pregnancy. I had to get married. I had to get a divorce. I had to hitchhike to Fort McMurray. Then I had to go to Vernon and Kitimat and Alex. And yes, I did move to Red Deer before I moved to Lacombe. And that's not the only coincidence. My last job, my last 20 years, was spent working in crop insurance, which included milk and honey. I truly had landed in the center of the universe. So if you don't feel blessed to live in Red Deer, let me tell you, I just got goosebumps because we live in the land of milk and honey. So that's just one example of how something that's happened in your life was something you visioned for maybe in grade 5 or 6, and you didn't even know. I was talking to my friend Jane about the stepping stones in our life, and it really took me home, and I thought about that. That was a real stepping stone. But I don't want it to be all about me, because I want to talk about how we all can create a bigger vision for our life than we ever dreamed. Do you know, visioning's really easy. And when we do the vision boards, that's really fun. Has everybody ever done a vision board where you cut out pictures, you glue them on, and then you wait for it to manifest? But how do you do that? I mean, you can't just put a picture on a board, of course. You have to be active. So visioning's easy, but it's the most in-depth work you'll do because you have to dig deep in your soul to find out what is your vision. You know, the mystics knew about visioning. They said visioning is the other side of meditation. You have to have a vision to meditate, and you should meditate on your vision. In our teaching, we say, love is the way, but law makes the way possible. So to me, that translated to visioning is the way, but meditation makes the way possible. And this is our time. When I talk about meditation, we're going to do some really quiet contemplation about the things in your life that you want to manifest. This is our time for quiet reflection to grow and become all that Creator God intended us to be. So manifesting the power of our vision has 6 questions. But the first thing you got to do is narrow down your intention, because you think, oh my gosh, there's so many things. Where do I start? Well, in our philosophy, we say there's 4 pillars to a healthy, happy life. And they are loving relationships, health, creativity, and abundance. But if all of those are already happening in your life, oh, praise to you. And I ask you to please do a vision for our center, for the growth of our center for spiritual living. And so, do a vision for a spiritual community, not even just this center, but that we all find our truth, that we all find that oneness, that unity that Juliet talked about. And so I want you to just close your eyes for a minute. And I'm just going to say those words to you that I want you to focus your intention on. And just see how it feels in your heart and in your gut. And you'll know, oh, this is an area of my life I need to focus on now. But let's start with prosperity, abundance. Oh, check that box. If that feels good, let's move on to health, body, mind, and spirit. And maybe you're okay in that box. Let's work on relationships, loving relationships with yourself and others. And finally, let's think about our creative expression. The gift that we are, the art, the music, the sounds, the words, the teachings. How do we express ourselves? Now you can open your eyes. And maybe there was something that really spoke to you. Maybe they all did. I have to be honest. They all did for me. And maybe all of them you thought, okay, I'm good. I feel like I've got a handle on all of those things. Well, don't forget about our spiritual community and all spiritual communities, because that's how we're going to change the world. So the 6 questions that Michael Beckwith says, the first thing you have to ask, if you think you have a high vision for yourself, that's nothing compared to what God's vision is for you. And whatever you call your creator. So that's the first question. What is God or Creator's highest vision of my life? And think about infinite possibilities. Why do you think you were created to be here? What is the highest vision you can have of your life? If you could achieve anything, because you can. So now you might think, okay, I think God's highest vision of my life is that I can run in the Olympics, or that I can express myself and sell my art. Oh, I know who that's talking to. Or I have loving relationships. I attract love in my life. Or I have all I need because I don't mistake my income with my source, because my source is limitless. So that's when you know which area you want your intention is. What is God's highest vision for that? And then the next thing is, how does that feel? How does it feel like inside of you? Wow. Does it feel great? Does it excite you? Does it scare the tar out of you? What does it feel like? What does it sound like? Does it sound like, hallelujah? Or does it sound like a quiet drum? Bum, bum. And I want to know how it sounds right now. How does it feel? How does it sound right now? What does it look like? And then, now that we know that, what it's going to feel like and look like, oh, I'm sorry to tell you, but you got to take responsibility. What do I have to do to create that vision for my life? Oh, and it's not even what do I have to do, because sometimes we get all the things right and it doesn't happen because there's something blocking it. Someone, something. So that's the next one. What do I have to release? Something in your life is stopping your highest vision from showing up. Can you identify it? What do you have to release? Sometimes it's doubt. And the good thing is, once you start releasing what no longer serves you and you start embracing what you need to do, all this information comes to you, this higher power that we talked about. What do I need to know? And where is it going to come from? A book's going to fall off the shelf. Somebody's going to come into your life that already knows what you want to do. Oh, Ruth, every time I talk about this, I want to play piano. And then there's Ruth just looking at me. She keeps telling me, you can play piano. So those are the 6 things you have to ask yourself. And then you have to commit to it. What is the highest vision for my life? What does it feel, sound, look like? What do I have to do to create it? What's my job? What do I have to release? And then what do I have to embrace? And then he wrote, what else do I need to know? But in my mind, I think once you've done all that, everything's going to come to you. The right and perfect people, the sounds, the things you need to know. So now that we've done that, I want you to join me once more in a quiet contemplation. We've been working on the how. We know the what. And this is a little deeper in the how, because it starts with the now. What is unfolding for me now? Just by coming here today, something incredible is unfolding. And what is mine to do now? Not next week or next month. What do I have to let go of now? And what gifts do I already have that can help me with my vision? And that's it. I hope you got some answers with those questions too, because they were just a little bit deeper in your soul, and they are more present because we added now to it. And when I talked about what do I already have, that's so important. And I don't know that I focus on it often enough, because people who have more give more. So what do you have to give? And I want you to walk around with that energy of having. I already have everything I need. I already have the wisdom. I have the friends. I have the books. What do you have already within you? That's so encouraging. That was one thing I learned from this teaching is I already have everything I need. Oh my gosh. All those things, all those journeys I talk, and all the things that I was embarrassed almost about, those were all my gifts. Those were the things I had. Now, of course, I wouldn't be a Science of Mind minister if I didn't talk about spiritual mind treatment. So, spiritual mind treatment, it's a vision. And we're writing a spiritual mind treatment is always for a vision that we want to manifest in our life. That's the affirmative part, is our vision. But guess what? There's one other thing that might be in the way, and it's called willingness. You know, willingness is so important, because there is so much truth. Where there's a will, there's a way. I have a plaque on my wall in my bathroom Reverend Gail gave to me probably 15 years ago. And it says, where there's a will, there's a way. And Reverend Gail, it was such a powerful statement that encompassed everything, and I was looking for that crazy job that I didn't think I was qualified for, and I went and saw Gail, and she did a treatment. I got this great job. I became a boss and got a big raise, all because where there was a will, there was a way, and I was willing. And the very last thing that we say in treatment, and Ernest Holmes talks about, Michael Beckwith talks about, the great magical ingredient is gratitude. Be grateful for what you already have. And when you're doing your vision, be grateful that it's already there, because it is. You just have to recognize it and attract the right and perfect people into your life to create it, and release the people, places, events out of your life that are blocking it. So, if you want to open your package and take out your affirmative prayer sheet, I'm going to give you an affirmative prayer. And you can look it up online later because this is being recorded. I'm just going to tell you, at the top of that book, it says, this affirmative prayer, spiritual mind treatment, is for my vision. And I'm just putting words in there, and you can take it home, put whatever you want. So step 1, there is only one power, one presence, I call God. Step 2 is unification. Because there's only one power, and I'm connected to it, I am all that God is. It's also mine. I'm co-creator. And then step 3, we write that affirmation, and it's the affirmation that we talked about. I am open to allowing my vision to manifest through me. And I am open to universal signs from all sources to assist me in fulfilling my vision. And then step 4 is the gratitude. I am grateful for this prayer with love in my heart and an open, willing mind. And step 5 is believing, faith. We call it release. Let it go. We let it go. We know it's already done. It's received, multiplied, and overflowing, and returned to us complete. And so it is. So take that blank affirmation home. And if you want, look online for Centers for Spiritual Living, the 5 steps of affirmative prayer treatment. And don't be surprised if you see a 3-step and a 7-step and 11-step. We just happen to do the 5-step here. Or watch the video again, because you'll be able to hear me say those. So look it up. God is, I am, I know, thank you, and release. So until we meet again, may you walk the path of your vision. May you always be open to your vision. May your ears hear the truth of your vision. And may your mouth utter the love of your vision. May your eyes see the manifestation of your vision. And may your heart be thrilled with your vision. I am Reverend Joanne, faith, peace, and love, Boruck. And I wish you an amazing week, an amazing life. Thank you.